Hello, I'm Toycat, and this is Seeds Sunday, the weekly series I run on my channel where I show you seeds Minecraft console edition, which are particularly interesting and worth checking out somewhere. And this week's seed is one I was going to start by saying, oh, well, it's not too impressive just by the pure numbers, but truth be told, it actually is kind of impressive just by the pure numbers of what it has. It's definitely above average because it has a spruce village that kind of floats, it has a village of blacksmith chests, it has a witch hut in between those two things, as well as a bunch of other just bizarre and kind of cool and unique things that I think you'll want to check out, which I'll be showing you with today's video. So hopefully you all do enjoy it. Like the video if you do, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets know you do like Seed Sunday. But with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start by talking about the seed, which is on screen right now and came in from KK Gaming. So yeah, big thank you to KK Gaming for sending in this seed. And if you do type that in, you'll spawn just over here on this weird little island, which as you can see is like half spruce, half beach. So you got some sand here if you really want it. I can't imagine that's too important. But yeah, basically the spawn area on this seed is really bizarre. And in fact, this entire, the whole layout of this world is very, very bizarre. And it's one that at first I was like, that's a bit weird, there's a giant ocean, but it actually leads to this very interesting effect where you basically get more land out of your same world, because instead of being able to explore any direction, which admittedly is something I imagine a lot of people really want, but if that's not your biggest priority, then basically you get the ability to, or not the ability, but you're kind of forced to explore the world by going counterclockwise around the entire thing. So yeah, you spawn in this giant spruce area, which is, kind of interesting by itself. It's got, access to a roof forest, a regular forest, but it also has access to a very, very bizarre ravine, which I think is worth at least looking at, because it always makes me, like smile a little bit when I see a tree just lonely sitting in a ravine like this. So yeah, single spruce tree chilling down here next to some lava and some water. Always a fun little ravine that's actually split into two different parts. There's one that's underground and one that's overground. This one seems to have the better, ores going on there, so I guess that kind of counts for something. But as well as the, the two-part ravine here, we've also got the fact that if you kind of, again, go clockwise around the world, you kind of see the scenery change as you go about it, which I really do quite like. So bear in mind, this seed does have an above average amount of like spruce forest on it, which will be pretty relevant for what we're going on to later, but it also has a pretty decent amount of other terrain, such as wacky hills and such as plains and stuff. So yeah, let's go first actually to the village, which is found in the southeast corner of the map, just over here. As you can see, it's a nice normal village, and compared to the rest of the seed, this thing will be a very nice, I guess, respite from the world, because everything is just so different and bizarre, and again, not what you usually expect from a seed, that this is kind of nice that you can come here, you can trade with your regular old blacksmith, you can get your free loot from the chest, which as you can see is pretty good because it's 6 obsidian, which plus the 2 from the chest means you're pretty ready if you want to go to the nether early on. But as well as being great in that particular way, it's also a plains, so lots of food will spawn around here, and like I said, I think it's a great place to go just as a massive difference to the rest of the seed, which is covered in forests and weird terrain mixes and stuff like that. Like, by the way, just over here in one of these mountains, there is actually access to the Stronghold, and it's a pretty bizarre Stronghold. Again, it's relatively close to the plains and to the spawn also, because if you go down from this coordinates right here, don't do it exactly here because you'll fall down into the ravine, then you'll find one of the weirdest ravines ever, because it's a ravine with access to a stronghold in it, which is also covered in lava, and also, like there's floating buildings going across the whole thing. There's emeralds exposed in this place, there's gold exposed, there's all the ores that you could ever expect to find here, but there's also exposed chests, so as you can see, ender pearl and iron leggings and redstone, all good stuff there. You can also see there's another chest up here, so that's 4 exposed chests because there's 2 over here too. So enchanted books for you right here, as you can see, more enchanted books for you right here, as well as the so as you can see, pretty good ones too. Then there's some like some random stuff. This is just random. I think it's like just food alone. But then you've got the ender pearl as well. So 4 sets of loot plus the emeralds plus the diamonds plus all this sort of stuff. And the cool thing about this to me is that this is a really, really rare configuration. But if you actually go to the top here, so again, mine down from over here, I guess, instead, rather than going up to the top. But if you mine down from here instead, then what you find is kind of interesting to me, because it's a second ravine crossed over the stronghold. That's right, it's a stronghold which doesn't just cross with one ravine, it crosses with 2. Admittedly, the second one seems to be one of the smaller ravines I've ever seen, or at least it looks that way. I don't know how it happened. But yeah, basically it's a ravine, one stronghold with 2 ravines crossing it, which is pretty nuts and makes for a very different experience, which again, different might be the thing you're going for with this seed, because it's definitely one of its biggest selling points. And again, later on I'll go on to like why I'd really love the seed, but let's keep continuing about the main features of it, because just to the north of the stronghold and of the village, you'll find a witch hut here. And this witch hut, I know there's just something kind of bizarre about the way this is placed, because it is in the swamp biome technically, but it's right next to the plains, and it's like not in the swampy swamp part of the swamp. I said swamp like 5 times there, but it's a really interestingly placed one, and it's easy to get to, and obviously the witch will be easy to kill in that regard, and that's a nice thing you might want from your Switch hut. So yeah, free witch, free all the other stuff, and realistically it's just a weird, cool little monument to find on your way as you head north a little bit more, because like I said earlier, there is in fact a spruce village on the sea, and the spruce village is like, it's not a regular spruce village, it's a spruce village which like intersects with water in a very bizarre way that I think is kind of cool and worth checking out. So as you can see, it's a spruce village at the edge of the map, going through water, and just pretty bizarre stuff, because spruce villages are rare by themselves. Keep that in mind, you know, like finding them, they're the rarest type of village. Then this one goes through the water, so it's spruce village with like a spruce, I don't know what you call these really, but a spruce platform, I guess. Then we've got beetroot, the rarest crop here. Again, you know, it's a nice little find when there's only one planter here. But then as well as that, you can see that most of the buildings are kind of like floating above the water. This one kind of glitches in a few places, it seems. But still, very, very wacky stuff going on all over the place, which is something you might enjoy. Also, yeah, these trees are cut off by the air blocks around the planters. Also kind of a cool thing by itself. So, yeah, lots of very, very bizarre things going on in this world. Like, look over there, for instance. It's a pretty interesting world, and the final... Oh, yeah, by the way, the final thing that I think is great about it is if we go all the way around to the edge here, you can see how this is the true extent of the world. Because it's not like, you know, you go in any direction you want, you're kind of forced around a circle. It does feel like the world is bigger, and that might be something you're really into. I think, you know, freedom is something you sometimes want, but sometimes you want a map which just feels bigger if you're playing on a classic-sized world, and I think this definitely provides this. Because for me, you know, what I really want from the seed, as well as those, you know, amazing things I've showed you already, is the fact that you can actually have, like, let's call it a house over here, and you can have the house be really, really secluded from everything else, because most people aren't going to be able to get here. Like, it's you know, it's hidden by mountains, so you'd have to, like, climb over one of these mountains to see it, and to get to these mountains, you have to take a really long boat ride, or you have to go all the way around the map, which most people won't do, and means you can have some privacy if that's your sort of thing. But also, as well as that, there's a few other interesting points of interest, such as the fact that there's a random desert island over here. Again, it's not a true desert, it's like I think it's an ocean biome, so like this is like a random island which just has sugarcane on, but still, there's a desert-like thing here which you can sail down and you can make your home, or you could use this as a starting point and like go to the very midpoint of the ocean, right over here, and have a house there. And the reason I think that would be cool is because the idea of having a bridge to connect, you know, let's call it that to that, or that to your house, or this to that, or, you know, if connecting anything from the center across would be a really cool giant project that I think people could look at, and kind of like in the real world, like, you know, the bridge that crosses somewhere in Louisiana, like, there's that giant lake, you know, there's a bridge that's like 30 miles, you can't see the end from it. That's the sort of thing you look at and you're like, wow, that's kind of cool. Don't know if it was necessary, but it's pretty cool. And honestly, personally, that's what I really love from a Minecraft build, where people are just like, why did you do this? Pretty cool anyway, but why? And I feel like this seed offers so much of that because of this bizarre giant ocean. And again, most seeds that have a giant ocean are entirely ruined. This is one of those few seeds that is entirely not that way, and I feel like it's an opportunity for someone out there at least. So with that said, I hope you did all enjoy Seed Sunday. Like the video if you did. Oh, there's a little planes out here. Like the video if you did, because it helps out the channel, and let us know you do like the seeds and stuff. Share the video if you really liked it, and subscribe if you are new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching. Well, I mean, you have to press the bell now, by the way, too. If you are subscribed and you don't get notifications, then pressing the bell is the only way that YouTube will actually send you every video, apparently. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it, because I will see you all next time. Goodbye.